A young girl walks up to the porch in the company of a boy. The young couple look at each other uncertainly. It is snowing, and people have decorated their houses for Christmas. A neighbor has a reindeer made of lanterns in her garden, and the house across the street is decorated with so many electric lights that it looks like it's about to burst into flames. The girl puts the key in the door and tries to enter as quietly as possible. A middle-aged woman immediately comes out to the guests. She says hello to the guy, whom she introduces as her boyfriend. Next comes out of the living room a man, her father. His eyebrows furrow. He crosses his arms over his chest and gloomily watches as the guests take off their shoes. He reacts in no way to his daughter's greeting and retires to the kitchen. After a while, he's joined by his wife, daughter, and the boyfriend. The mother of the family pours the tea, gets out some treats, and tries to lighten up the conversation somehow. She asks the young man various questions, and he answers discreetly, occasionally glancing at the man. He senses that he doesn't like the head of the family. The girl also tries to smooth things over, but the boy, who is not known for his good manners, spoils the impression. At some point, the situation gets out of hand. The girl doesn't notice as she and her father start arguing loudly. The mother and the boy join in too, and soon the atmosphere is less than festive. The girl abruptly rises and declares that she and her boyfriend are leaving. Her father tries to stop her, telling her that the young man isn't her match, but she won't hear of it. Finally, father and boyfriend exchange harsh words. The boy and the girl leave, and the wife is upset as she washes the dishes. She remarks that the father could have been gentler, to which he replies that the young man does not have the best of intentions and does not want such a match for his daughter. He takes the sponge away from his wife and washes the dishes himself. The man says he loves his family very much, so he takes care of them as best he can. A few hours later, the daughter returns and finds the mother alone in the room. The girl is upset and says she feels like she is in a cage. It's as if she has returned to the days of her childhood, when her father used to raise his hand against her. The woman tries to reassure her, even though she disapproves of her husband's behavior. Suddenly, the girl asks whether her mother wants to finish what she once started. She does not immediately understand, but then thinks for a long time. She confesses that the thought never leaves her mind. The girl leaves the room, saying she would like to be her mistress, like her elder sister, and that her father should not interfere in other people's plans. She is offended by the way he has behaved towards her boyfriend. None of the neighbors see the woman leave the house after this conversation, and if they do, they don't think anything wrong. She's probably rushing to get some Christmas presents for her friends or some groceries for the festive table. Except that at the shop, the woman quickly passes by the groceries and Christmas presents shelves. Having bought what she needs, she returns home. Christmas comes and the family gathers around the table again. The man tries his best to create an atmosphere of warmth and coziness. But relations between the family members are strained by previous conflicts, so a few careless words are enough to cause a conflict. The man calms down quickly, but the woman's excitement seems to increase. At one point, she steps into the kitchen. After a moment, her daughter joins her. The girl says she cannot go on like this. Her father is a tyrant. The mother returns to the room with a bottle of cherry Lambrini, an inexpensive sparkling wine that her daughter loves so much. She declares that it is a holiday and they should forget all the arguments for a while. The man gladly takes the glass filled with fizzy liquid. The wine is so good that the man pours himself more and more, even though he once had kidney problems and doctors advised him not to abuse alcohol. From time to time, he catches his wife's eyes. She seems anxious or impatient. There is sometimes a look of guilt on her face. In the morning, he is unable to get out of bed. He is so ill that he seems about to faint. His wife convinces him to stay in bed and says it must be the wine he had too much of the night before. The man asks to call a doctor, but the wife assures him to lie down. She does call an ambulance, but only to say that her husband's kidney disease seems to have worsened due to his drinking. Or maybe it's the pills he's been taking. He lies in his room and doesn't see his wife go into the living room to get a pen and paper. Despite her excitement, she is determined to do what she is about to do. It's too late to back out. There's no turning back now. The woman begins to write, trying to copy her husband's handwriting. Her daughter approaches her and reads over her shoulder. When the letter is finished, they both look at each other, and the daughter declares that they have done the right thing. The letter in their hands looks entirely believable. In these crookedly written lines, the man confesses that he wants to die. He intends to do so with his family and asks not to be resuscitated. The conspirators reread what they've written and are satisfied. The completely weakened man is taken to hospital where his wife hands the doctor a note. But thanks to the professionalism of the doctors, he stays alive. Tests show that the patient was suffering from severe poisoning. In the letter, the educated man wanted to pass away with dignity, the word his wife misspelled. The police found the note strange. They decided to question the family and examine the contents of the Lambrini bottle. Meanwhile, it turned out that the poisoning was caused by the antifreeze that the wife had put in the bottle of wine. The doctors said it was a miracle to survive after drinking that much. The man looks at his wife and daughter, who are now in the dock, with bitterness and tears in their eyes. It turns out that his wife had previously tried to send him to the afterlife, but the victim managed to survive. After a Christmas quarrel, the wife decided to carry out her evil plan. The judge had suggested that the reason for the attempt is the girl's father's strained relationship with her boyfriend, but she denies it. She is only 21 years old. The judge wonders again and again how such a modest and shy girl could dare to do such a terrible thing. The daughter was not directly involved in the poisoning, but actively incited her mother. The conspirator's lawyer claims the daughter is psychologically traumatized by her harsh treatment as a child. As a result, the girl grew up overly sensitive and shy, and her behavior as a teenager is not age-appropriate as an adult. The man could barely stand on his feet, and he is not yet fully recovered. He cannot believe that his wife and daughter tried to kill him. He tells the judge that he's been married for more than 25 years, has always loved his wife sincerely, and is devoted to his daughter. So the man has no intention of taking legal action against those he loves. However, his wife is sentenced to 2 terms of 15 years each for attempting to kill her husband. And his daughter goes to prison for 3 years. According to the judge, she didn't just fail to stop her mother, but contributed to the evil plan. The story may seem fictional, but it took place in 2015 in South London. Jacqueline Patrick, 55, tried to send her husband Douglas Patrick to the other side with help of their daughter, Catherine. The woman has made a full confession of guilt. In court, it was revealed that there had been tension in the family over the daughter's boyfriend. Still, the court rejected suggestions that the family's father was violent towards the housemates. After learning about it, the man admitted in court that he was utterly broken, but did not want his wife and daughter to go to prison. Despite the generous act, the judge declared that the offender had acted consistently and in cold blood, and therefore deserved severe punishment. Antifreeze is a rather exotic choice for poisoning, but history has also known other equally bizarre and dangerous ways to kill one's enemy. In the 15th century, for example, mercury was used as medicine. Even though it was poisonous and had numerous side effects, they used it all across Europe. It later spread to other continents and became particularly popular in the US. Those who use mercury thermometers know that they must handle them with great care. If you break the thermometer, the mercury fumes can be life-threatening. Patients treated with mercury back then would be left with ulcers, scars, and then have mental problems. In the worst cases, they died of intoxication. Another substance that one can easily be poisoned by is carbolic acid, or phenol. In the mid-19th century, the colorless substance was used to get rid of sewage odors in London. Soon, a surgeon was using phenol as an antiseptic. In small doses, carbolic acid was helpful to doctors, but large amounts irritated mucous membranes and caused chemical burns. It was popular amongst women of easy virtue who decided to end their lives. However, due to its slow and painful effects, this method of ending one's life was not considered the easiest. During the Civil War in the 1860s, chloroform became common in the United States. It was used for amputations and surgery in the field. It took doctors a long time to realize that large quantities of chloroform would lead to lung paralysis and cardiac arrest. And the first reported death was in 1848. The victim was a 15-year-old boy given chloroform by doctors before surgery to remove a toenail. The dose of anesthetic was too much, and the doctor's attempt to revive the patient with brandy only hastened the end. As medicine progressed, it became known that chloroform was dangerous to the eyes, some organs, and the nervous system. What strange ways of poisoning have you heard of? Share in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel so as not to miss exciting updates.